What's going on, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. K-Rino. And y'all know I don't backdoor too much, but I had to backdoor y'all with another lap tonight because this is one that I think we gotta really tackle. A lot of times I know how people think. I know a lot of people want me to always kind of cover more what y'all would label as deep topics or more metaphysical topics. I need you to get into some governmental conspiracy topics, and you need to be talking about this and all that. And y'all know I cover a little bit of everything that's within my mental universe, what I mess with or what I place importance on. But what we ought to also understand is that we are living in a real world. We're living in real life. We're living in a world that situations affect us on a daily basis. And everything that affects us on a daily basis that we can directly recognize is not going to be something that's just way off into the stars somewhere. Sometimes we just got to speak and come down to our levels and then operate with each other on our levels to build ourselves up. It's a lot of trash that's inside of us that has to be cleaned out of the house before the house can be properly renovated and made inhabitable. So if you have a home that's just water damage in the walls, mold in the walls, and carpet is tore up, and wiring is jacked up, the roof is bad, you can't just go in there and sweep and then take some old stuff out and set it in the front yard and think, no, you got to gut that house out. And we are like that house that needs to be gutted out because so much waste and so much trash and so much damage has been done on the internal part of our vessel, that in order for it to be livable, we got a clean house. So we got a clean house on some regular levels to get understanding. Y'all hit that like button as y'all come in. I see y'all slipping in the dark, brother. Y'all see the topic. The topic is what catches a person versus what keeps a person. And I know y'all have all dealt with this. We've been on one end of this or the other, or both, just depending on how you lived your life or whatever. But this is very important because what happens is we will tend to make the mistake of making life decisions based on the wrong things. We will choose people to be in our life based on the wrong criteria. So there's a few sayings that have become prevalent in our world, absolutely become part of our culture based on the exposure and the perpetual reiteration of these terms. One of the terms is you hear people say, you got to use what you got to get what you want. People say that all the time. Y'all hold on for a second, man. Yeah. People say that all the time. And they also say, hey, man, sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. They'll say things of that nature. I'm having some problems with my connection, y'all. So y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me. I'm having a few issues with my connection, man. Having some issues with my connection. But I don't want to lose y'all because this is very important. This is very important. But I'll start over and say that part again just in case y'all didn't catch it. People who will say you got to use what you got to get what you want. People who will say you got to fake it till you make it. people will say, hey man, conversation rule the nation. You do whatever you got to do to get in the dough. You know, people will say these types of things, and that creates a very, very negative culture among us. It creates a culture of shortcuts. It creates a culture that consists of mindsets that don't have the desire to fully and thoroughly check and get to know and vet people or situations before they immerse themselves into those situations. So you can get something. You can get somebody. In this particular case, I'm talking about people. I'm not talking about possessions. You can get a person to be with you, to be in a relationship with you, to marry you. You can get a person to be your friend. You can get a person to go into business with you, all based on whatever perception you are able to create or whatever visual you are able to present that may attract them on a superficial level. Because a lot of us operate on a superficial level. And if you, in the first thing that we gravitate towards is the visual. It's just how it is. So what catches a person, you look and you say, wow, she really looks good. She's really, boy, that's a nice looking woman right there. Boy, she really looks good. And that draws you to her. And then you get her because you pursued her on that level, and then you get her. And you happy that you got her because visually she excited something in you from a visual standpoint that made you feel satisfied and felt like you had accomplished what you needed to accomplish. But then once you get her, and I'm talking to the females too, because once you get him, nice looking, whoa, he's a nice looking guy. You're telling your friends, oh girl, he looks so good. And you're telling your friends all that. Well, what does he do? I don't really know what he do, but boy, he looks so good. It don't even matter. And it don't matter now till you get fully involved with that person. And then when you get fully involved with that person, then you start to see other aspects of their character and other characteristics in them that you don't like. But it might be too late. You saw how good she looked. You saw how good he looked, and that drew you in. That caught you. Or you caught them based on you may be the good looking person. Then all of a sudden, that person, they don't want to work. They don't want to help contribute to the household. They are not engaging in terms of this communication and engaging in terms of being a support system, problem solving, whatever the case is. And you start to realize that you made a mistake because you looked at something and go, it's not what I thought it was going to be. Because your sole attraction was relegated to just the eyes. And this happens every day. So now flip the script and you are the person that used that visual. You're like, I'm a nice looking guy. Maybe I can maybe get in and pull this woman and or I can pull this man, or whatever the case is, and then you do it, and they start to see that you don't display any value that goes beyond physical. It's like, your intelligence level ain't up to par. They may want to have serious intellectual discussions with you about things that are going on in the world, life altering and life changing decisions that they may feel that y'all should make together, and this would be best for us moving forward, and you don't have a clue. You're not even aware of the issues going on in the world. And then all of a sudden that person starts to pull back from you or withdraw from you, and you still don't get it. You still wondering why, like, well, what's wrong with you? You're not on their level. You're not operating on the same frequency that they're operating on. So you did just enough to catch them, but now it's been revealed that you don't have the ability to keep them. And I'm gonna say this real quick, and it might, touch some people maybe in the wrong way, but I don't mean for anything I say to touch people in the wrong. It may come off kind of like, man, but I need for it to hit you in the real way. There are some women who they use sex, they may use their bodies to try to get a man to like them, to feel like, okay, well, if I give him some, then he'll like me. Because maybe that's been a means that you've used, or you've been falsely made to believe is the right means to make a man gravitate towards you in for the long run. And some women make that mistake. They're like, man, I'm just going, hey, oh, okay, I know what they like. I'll just spread them open and he'll be with me. But then you find out that he'll only be with you for the duration of that encounter that y'all have. And after that, he has no more use for you. He moves on to the next one. Or he may just call you back when he wants to do that again with you. It's a behavioral deficiency that stems from a psychological deficiency. It's something mental, something that has happened, something that's been taught or learned. It could be a learned behavior that was taught, because a lot of our parents, a lot of our older relatives and older friends and OGs and people that we look up to or come up under, the reality is some of them give bad advice a lot of times. So what I said early on, why people say, well, you got to use what you got to get what you want. See, that's a taught and learned behavior. That's a taught and learned attitude. But it's not the proper attitude. Because somebody would tell a woman, hey, it could be a male or a female. A female will say, baby, you better, you young girl, you better use that little shape you got to get what you can out these dudes. Then a pimp will come along later on and say the same thing. Well, baby girl, you look good. You wasting all this. You going out on dates with these dudes and ain't getting nothing out of it. You could be getting money. You could be doing, they plant those seeds in your head. And in our immaturity and our ignorance just to life, we look and go, oh, you know what, you got a point. I guess if I'm going to do it anyway, I might as well get paid for it. And then you allow yourself to be used up. Or you allow yourself to go above and beyond to give of yourself, because You want to be accepted. You want to be liked. You want to be taken in and appreciated. But people are only going to appreciate, some people will only appreciate that instant gratification that you can give them. But also people will only appreciate, well, people will only deal with or respect what you force them to respect. So it's like if a man tries to holler at a female and the man just, he starts off with her real disrespectful. Hey, baby, hey, come here. Hey, girl, come here. If she comes over there, if she responds to that, then that will continue to be his form of conversation. But if she chops that down off the rip, ignores it, keeps going, or either turns around and say, well, who are you talking to? That's very disrespectful that you would talk to a lady like that. That's how your mama taught you how to. Then now he knows. Oh, like that. So people respect what you force them to respect about you. But we find out real fast if somebody is somebody that we want to keep after you catch that person. It's like people that go fishing. People that they'll fish, they'll throw their rod out there in that water, and they'll, whoa, I got one. And they start bringing it in. And when they pull it out, they get in the boat, they might realize, that's too small. This ain't what I want. I'm gonna throw that one back. We have to have it in our mind with people that we're going to get to know as much of the totality of them as we can before you overly commit, before you make the mistake of being overly committed to a situation. And there are people who intentionally do this. Now, some people who have low self-esteem, they have to rely on the superficial means. They have to rely on accessories. Like, you might have a lot of money. You may be successful in terms of financial, but you're not successful in terms of attracting happiness from people, attracting love, attracting friendship. Might not be successful in that area. So you decide to use your money. You decide to use the fact that you can pull up in this particular car, and you know that these are catching mechanisms that you can use to bring somebody in. But what are you going to do to keep that person once you get them in? Because after you ride around in the car so many times, after they ride around in the car so many times, then what? She might say, you got another car? Or a day is going to come where she's just going to go, you're going to call, hey, baby, want to go riding? And she's going to go, nah, I'm going to chill today. Because you don't have anything else to offer, or you're not displaying anything else to offer. Same with a woman. You want to hang out? Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna chill out there. I'm gonna cool out. I'm gonna hang with my boys. I'm gonna go do something else. I was thinking we can go get a room or something. Nah, I'm good. And it blows your mind that there would be a man that would turn that down. But a man or a woman who kind of has a bigger vision for themselves in terms of the type of people they want to be with for the long haul, it's going to take more than physical, and it's going to take more than material in order to keep them. And in some cases, those things that I mentioned won't even catch them in the first place. Some people use their power and their influence and their status to catch people. But we've seen far too many times where the rich, the powerful, the famous, the so-called elites of the world, you see them unhappy in relationships. You see them filing for divorce. Ugly, bitter divorce proceedings. Because none of those things, no matter how big you are, no matter how much power you got, you run a government, you run a nation, you're the head of a corporation, you the biggest, richest rapper in the game. None of those things guarantee successful relationships. None of those things guarantee that. So at the end of the day, it's more so about the patience and taking the time to truly find out who you will potentially be dealing with. And there are some people on the flip end you think you're getting an easy way into the door by if somebody catches you with their money and their power, because you know y'all catching each other. He's using his cars and his money and his status and his fame and his power to catch you. You use your physicality, your beauty to catch him, and both sides playing the other. To come to the point and understand that they want more out of life. They want more out of life. What catches a person versus what keeps them. So you look up and now they divorced. Now they broke up. Now they hate each other. Not only do they break up, they hate each other now. They don't even like each other anymore. Because when you get behind the curtain, there's a saying that says never meet your heroes. Well, I mean, that it's relative. It depends on the person, because there's a lot of great people that are really good people, and there's a lot of great people that are really a bunch of a-holes that you would be better off never meeting in your life if you want to keep that persona in your mind, if you want to keep that vision in your mind of how great they really are. Some of them, it's best that you don't ever meet them, because you're going to be greatly disappointed. That's what it's like from a distance. You see a person like, oh, man, I really want him, I really want her. And you think you do until you get them. Then they show an ugly side, because the people who are in power, what they'll do sometimes, their power fuels their arrogance, and it fuels their sense of control of people, and they have people around them that they do control. So everybody that's in their life is somebody that is beneath them, and that they control and that they dictate to in terms of whatever it is they want them to do. So when they make you into that person, now your life is miserable, because it's like, man, we're supposed to be in a relationship. This guy's supposed to treat me like an equal. and he treats me like I'm his slave, or I'm his pet, or I'm insignificant. So now you unhappy. So rich folks cheat on their wives and husbands too. Rich folks have domestic violence in their relationships too. Rich folks commit suicide and kill and have homicide and double homicide, murder, suicide. They do that too. Because no amount of material will satisfy your spirit when the other elements of life that represent true happiness are not present. It's not going to work. That's why you can't buy friends. Can't buy friends. Because my homeboy, the great Mad Bomber, I got to give him a shout out. And while he would spew a lot of pimp game to us, he's been on some of my records. His pimp game talk was magnificent. But there are jewels in that, as far as good, righteous life lesson jewels that would even be in some of the pimp talk where you be like, come on, man. But it's some real good life lessons in that. And what do I mean? When we come in trying to trick somebody to like us, or trying to use what we got to get what we want. And notice that term, use what you got to get what you want. We don't really look at that sentence. It didn't say use what you got to get what you need. It said use what you got to get what you want. And anybody with some understanding knows that what you want and what you need are not always the same thing. I could want some cocaine, but I don't need no cocaine. So we got to be careful with that. But what he was saying, what my homie Mad Bomber was saying, and he was relating it to male-female relationships, he was talking about how a person may just, in the beginning, you taking out on dates, you spending money on her, you showing all these fancy places and exquisite things, and then you use that to reel her in. And then when you get her in, you stop doing that. So what he said was, he said, however you start off is how you got to keep on being. You can't start strong and then go weak. You can't start weak and then try to go strong. If you're trying to trick somebody to like you, because every example I just gave, I was talking about people who actually legitimately had the things that I talked about. You really do got the car. You really do got the money. You really do got the house and all the, you really got that. But there are other people who don't have it, but they got the mouthpiece to make it appear as if they have it or that it's available to them. And they'll use that to catch a person too. Because their self-esteem is low. Or they running a con. And when a person finds out, when a woman finds out, oh yeah, this ain't even your car, this your homeboy car, she gone. What do you do? How do you find the value in yourself how to keep the person that you think you want. Stop focusing on and focus on the people that we need. How do we do that? We have to ask the Most High to surround us with the people that are good for us and keep us away from the people who are not good for us. Even if it means subordinating our own personal desires. Like, oh no, man, whew, I want that, I want that. You don't need that. You think you want it. Shout out to Jimi Hendrix, man. Hate I missed you, Jimmy. Jimmy was in H-Town. I really had intentions on meeting up with my brother, but I didn't catch up. I didn't have time to get at him. Shout out to Jimmy. We'll meet it. We will meet. Jean Durr said, that's why the courtship phase of a relationship is so important. Beautiful words. Courtship. But you know what's so cold about that, Brother Jean? We have to utilize the principles of courtship, not just in male-female relationships. You got to court in business. You got to court friends, acquaintances. You have to actually go through a process of getting to know people so you won't step too far. Stepping at far point. Alan Crook said some people chase hypergamy instead of integrity. And you know what I was getting ready to say? What I thought you was about to say? Being what you believe them to be or what you expect them to be, but they change. And there are reasons why people change in the middle of. They may change because it's something you did. Hold on, y'all. I've been having problems with my connection, y'all. So sometime it might go out. I don't know if I got a janky cord or what. But sometimes people will change just out the blue. They'll just change. They may get bored with you even if you haven't done anything wrong, but sometimes it's something you're doing. You got to make sure that you're still on point. See? They were a good person. Y'all were fine. Sometimes you change. That's why they say when you're dealing with two people who really want to make it work, who really want to last, that's why they always say, hey, man, the number one rule is the things that you did to get that person, you have to continue to do those things once you got them. And that's a fact. That's why I quoted my homeboy. So you can't start strong and then go weak. If you're that guy who's doing all this above and beyond stuff, and you're making it appear that that's your norm, see, when you start to slack off, she's gonna let you know. So you just gotta keep it real. Well, no, baby girl, I ain't just got it like that, but I wanted to really let you know that I'm feeling you. So I wanted to do nice things for you in the beginning. Just keep it real. But I ain't acting like we just gonna be doing this every night. Keep it real. And if she appreciates the honesty and if she still likes you, she should still get down. Because what will happen if you have these things and y'all are immersed in this good relationship, and then you take a hit, you take a financial loss, and you start to dip. If she's not rooted in y'all's relationship, or if he's not rooted in y'all's relationship, is it? Oh, the money don't stop? We ain't going on these trips no more? Oh no, I'm out. I'm out. See? That's why it's never good to fake your persona, man. You don't have to. You don't have to fake your persona. Just be who you are. Sweet James Jones in the building. Thank you for the love. This is Bobo 423 Tunes. Happy holidays. Salute, Sweet James Jones. L. Jackson. What's up, L. Jackson? Much love. L. Jackson, what if your brother is a bad person, but your blood connection is the only thing that keeps you close? Well, I just wrote a song on my last album. It's called From a Distance. And I said in that song, and I got another song called Ain't Family, where I say all blood ain't family. But what I said in one of those songs is that it's very possible to love somebody and not like them. You can love somebody and not like their ways. You can love somebody and not like them. So with that being said, if you are saying that your brother is a bad person, I don't know your brother. You'll be more qualified to make that assessment than I would. But if that's your opinion of your brother, and you're saying y'all's blood connection is what keeps y'all close, well, y'all gonna always be blood related. That's something that's not gonna ever change. That's what it's gonna be. But if you're saying he's a bad person, then there's clearly aspects of him that you ain't rocking with. So you have to protect yourself and your own energy. And if you got a family and all that, to not let anything that constitutes his bad personage spilling over into your life and your family and your whatever you have going on. That's all that is. It don't mean you don't love your brother. But sometimes you got to love people from a distance. Triple snipper always come back. Taking holidays. Stop doing it. Stop beating ourselves up. Stop beating ourselves. Best Christmas. Yes, you did. You alive, you breathing. Hopefully you got your health intact. Don't get caught up in the label and allow that to bring a depression onto yourself. Man, my Christmas was, man, I wasn't able to buy nothing for my kid. Man, hey, man, don't let that get you down, man. It's one day. You may come into a financial blessing on March the 8th. Don't get caught up in one day that they say you should be doing this and doing all that. So don't get caught up in that. Miles Mechanics. Hope you had a very bat-winged day today. Pain and betrayal. They lie, they run game, and they play you. And hate is what they bring to the table. Man. Come on, ooh, we rapping at the same time. We rapping at the same time, the same bars. Yeah. But don't let these so-called holidays draw you and pull you down into depression if your financial status is not at a point where you feel like you weren't able to do what you wish you could have did for people. If that's your issue. Don't be going to your grandma's house and your mama's house arguing with your cousin, then you're getting into it with your drunk uncle and all that. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Moose knuckles with Parmesan cheese sprinkled on the top of it. That's inside joke, y'all. Y'all don't know what's up with that. But understand, this topic comes from, it's layered. And one of the layers is what I've been speaking on for the most part is that when you are deceitful and trying to just use, I want to use my car and these nice clothes and these diamonds, and I want to use that to attract somebody to me. They're not attracted to you. That's not going to keep them. It'll catch them, but it won't keep them. And the other layer is when you come in sincere, and you're doing all the right things, you have intentions of this thing working, you got somebody that's good and cool, don't switch up. Don't switch up. Do people lose interest, man? Yeah, it happens. Unfortunately, sometimes relationships run their course. It's like friendships run their course. It ain't got to just be, I don't want y'all to think that this whole thing is about just relationships, male and female, marriage and all that stuff. No. This applies to friendship. People try to buy friends all the time. People use, hey, I got a big name out here. I got a new single that's popping. Everybody listening to my music. I can get women now. I can have 8 women in the hotel room now. But you don't find no true happiness in that in the long run, because you realize they really not interested in you. They are clinging on to the status and the fame just like you are. Everybody's getting something out of it. Everybody's getting something superficial out of it. Nobody's getting anything substantive out of it. Nothing with no weight is coming out of it. Shout out to Andrew Swartz. You're the best lyricist in my opinion. Hope to see you in Los Angeles. Yeah, man, I hope to come to LA again one of these days, man. Whoop, LA, California. Dollar Bill is in the building, man. As always, my brother. Always showing love. See? Stop using the wrong things to attract people. Because what you attract is gonna be, it's gonna be an illusion. See? You don't want, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't want a hollow container. If they had 5 containers just sitting on the table and you couldn't touch them, and the tops were sealed, and they say, well, one of these got some good stuff in it, man. You're gonna do your best to guess which one it has the substance in it. And if you pick one up and it's real light, it's like, oh, there's nothing in it. The outside, the container might be beautiful. The outside of the container, the bucket, the basket, the bottle, it might be beautiful. The designs might be incredible. But you open it, there's nothing in it. Some of our most valued possessions are things that are not necessarily the most beautiful things on the outside, not necessarily the newest things. That's why you have antiques and heirlooms that are passed down through generations, through families, right? And to somebody else, these things are worthless. And from a monetary point of view, they have no value. They have little value. But from a sentimental aspect and from a historical aspect, you can't put a price on it. Y'all ever seen that episode of Family Matters? The show Steve Urkel used to be on. And they had a garage sale one time. And at the garage sale, they were trying to pick out stuff out the house to sell at the garage sale. And the little girl accidentally sold a blanket, a quilt that had been in her family for like 100 years or something like that. She accidentally sold that quilt. And the grandmother she was just shook. She was shattered. And the little girl, when she found out the history of that quilt, she had to do everything. She begged the lady who bought it, please give it back because it means so much to our family. It wasn't about no money. It was about the substance of it. So we got to stop thinking that everything has to be, every value is always connected to, oh, well, this watch costs $800,000. See, we've been made that way. We've been made that way. We've been made to have a nigger rich mentality, meaning that when you never had nothing all your life, you talk about people who've been deprived and have never had anything in their life. When we finally get a little bit of something, that validates us in our mind. It puts value on us in our mind, but that's delusional thinking. So that's why we'll say things like, nigga, this shirt cost $400. What you talking about? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. My shoes, man, I paid $500 for these shoes. Or when you really got it, yeah, man, this little old watch right here cost me about $50,000, just lightweight, because that's what makes us think that we somebody. Because we able to spend $50,000 on a piece of jewelry that depreciated the second you bought it. Am I saying you shouldn't like nice things? No, I ain't saying that. But you have to be able to compartmentalize and understand and have the understanding to know that, yeah, I can give me some nice stuff, but that's not the foundation of my worth. My worth is not based on that car. Yeah, I got a nice car. I got 4 or 5 nice. Yeah, but that stuff could be gone tomorrow, and I'm gonna still be me. Not that stuff could be gone tomorrow, and I'm gonna go jump off the top of the Astrodome. DC Static, I appreciate the love. DC been listening since high school. DC, don't tell nobody that. You're gonna have people thinking that I'm old. I appreciate that, DC Static. Andrew Swartz. Okay, I got you, Andrew. Hold on, on now. Hold on. I gotta correct you, Kendrick Wynn. We off the subject for a second. I'm gonna come back. You saying I got 37 albums? Kendrick Wynn. Kendrick, no, Kendrick. I'm over 50 albums. I got way more. You just shorted me about 14 albums, Kendrick. Kendrick Wynn said, value life, not material things. Because you can gain and lose material things over and over again. Money, oops, man, I messed that money out. Oops, but I got some more. Oh, man, messed that car. Oops, but I got another one. Everybody in this chat right now who's ever owned more than one vehicle in their life, just raise your hand. Give me some type of something, a peace sign. If you've ever owned more than one vehicle in your lifetime, raise your hand. Okay? If you've ever, I'm gonna start low. If you ever had $500 before and you spent it frivolously, if you blown some money, put it like that before. That's why I'll say it. If you've ever blown some money before, just raise your hand. It's all right. The point that I'm making, as everybody raises their hand, is that anything that we have ever had in that moment, we thought that was like, whoo, we cherished it. That was just, in some cases, we might have knew, man, I might have knew I had a hoopty at the time. I might have knew my car wasn't the best, but that was my car. It got me from point A to point B, and I was proud to be in it, and I loved it. But something happened, and you lost it, right? Because obviously, if you own your second or your third or your fourth or fifth car, somebody say, man, you remember your first car? You'll say, yeah, man, I remember. Yeah, it was an 89, such and such with a, man, boy, we used to ride. Because you love that car, so you start thinking, having fond memories about it, but you don't have it no more. Which means that throughout time, you're going to gain and you're going to lose stuff. You're going to get it, and then you're going to not have it. Then you're going to get something better, and you may lose that. Then you get something else. It's how it is. Money, cars, clothes, people. But at the end of the day, the constant thing that allows you to continue to keep getting the things back that you lost, the things, keep your mind focused on the word things. What keeps you being able to get the things back that you lost is the one thing that you have not ever lost, and that's you. You got your health, your strength, your right mind, and you got the motivation and the determination and the belief. You lose your car, you say what? Well, I'm gonna give me another one. Did your world end when you lost that car? Might have been mad if it happened under different circumstances. Some people get another car because they leveled up. It's like, man, I hit a lick. I'm doing good, so I just got a better car. But a lot of times we just lose stuff. Your first car might have got repossessed, might have got stolen, might have got wrecked. Somebody might have beat you out some money, but you get it back because the constant is you. And this you can't get back. So you don't put value on that stuff. You appreciate it. You use it as a means to navigate through this world. We got to have money. We got to have vehicles, homes, and we got to have all that stuff. But don't make that be what drives you to put value on yourself. I'm somebody because I got some $300 tennis shoes on. I'm somebody because I got these kind of rims on my car. No, that's not what makes you who you are. And when you think like that, that's what leads you to thinking that I can use those things to attract other people to me. They don't like you. They like the idea of benefiting from those things you got. See? Oh, he got a nice car. I want to ride in it. She might not give you the time of day. If you try to holler at her while you were sitting at the bus stop, y'all was sitting at the bus stop together, she might have gave you a shot, but she might not have. Same with females. Some females may, again, from a physical standpoint, she knows she fine. Oh, I know how to get him. Don't use that. Because you're right, you know how to get him, but do you know how to keep him? And do you even want him? You don't want him you don't want him if that's why he wants you. Because that's not really you that he wants. Y'all remember back in the old days, I don't know how old y'all are, but I'm finna hit y'all because I know some of y'all are old enough to know. Long before it was a cell phone in every hand, long before that was a Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or a social media platform that you could communicate with people on, long before you could send somebody a text message, it used to be this thing called the home phone, the landline, right? The landline. And the thing about it is, back in those days, that was the only means of communication. You either talked on the phone at your house or you was at a payphone. Y'all know y'all remember the payphones, right? So that was a principle that used to exist back in the days that was really, we didn't really appreciate how deep it was. And I'm gonna make y'all appreciate how deep it was for some. If you was to meet somebody today and they say, okay, well, if somebody was hooking you up, so we say, you know what? All right, hey man, I know somebody that, you might be interested in, her Instagram is blah, 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 blah. You go, okay. First thing you're going to do, you're going to go on her Instagram and do what? Tell me what you're going to do. I ain't going to even answer. I want to see what y'all say. What's the first thing you're going to do, male or female? If somebody said, well, yeah, go on my Instagram or here's his Instagram or here's her Facebook. What's the first thing you're going to do? Honey Golden said, look at what? You go into them pictures. You see what they look, come on. See what they look like, right? Okay, now back in the days, somebody would fix you up. Somebody will fix you up. Hey man, I got a homegirl, man. Well, she got a homegirl, man. She said she could get, okay, y'all get the number. Y'all on the phone talking. All you got to go by back then is her conversation, and all that she has to go by is your conversation. Now, of course, y'all gonna ask the questions. You're gonna say, well, so what do you look like? How tall are you? Or back in the days we used to say, what celebrity do they say you look like? Who they say you look like? Who would you say you resemble? But the point is, we would talk for hours on the phone, conversation, and nothing replaces that natural energy that talking to a person generates. You can hear the inflections in their voice. You can hear the levels of emotion and passion in they voice certain things they say that you can't get from a text message, that you can't get from a DM, right? You don't get that emotion. A lot of times those things get misinterpreted. Somebody DM you, or, hey, what's wrong with you? Why you got attitude? Like, I ain't got no attitude. What you? I'm just reading the way you said it. Like, how you going? But you would talk to people and get to know them. And sometimes in a blind situation, look, we done all did it. You talk to a person 2 or 3 weeks before you even meet them in person. And in that time frame, you mess around and start developing feelings on the phone, never met, because you are starting to get to know and fall for that person's real self. Unless they're a hell of a liar. Honey say, yeah, and fall asleep. Yeah, you be on the phone. You ain't want to get off. You just, hello? Yeah, I'm still here. You sleeping? Nah, I'm still here. You just don't even want to get off the phone. You about to pass out. But that was how the connection was back then. And you got to know that person. And even if you met the person in person, when you find him, and sometimes it's a disappointment, let's keep it real. You might meet a person who didn't give the real description of this. You got catfished. But if you are a person who, if your spirit is in the right place, you might still say to yourself, well, this person not my type physically, because you want to have that component. I ain't telling you to just not have a physical attraction to a person. But even if you don't, after talking all that time, you have still established a chemistry and a foundation and the energy with that person, that y'all still be cool. Or y'all might still. Because now the connection that y'all have established is it's transcended the physical. We don't really get that. That don't really happen like that no more. Because everything now is instant. And social media has made it to where it's like you can be whatever you want to be. I can formulate a persona for myself that can make you believe me to be whatever I want you to believe I am. See? Dudes do it, females do it. But what you do to catch that person and what you do to keep them, it better line up. Somebody say, Clifford Hood say filters. Yeah. But if we look at the females who use filters and all that, okay. But what about the dudes who we might not use filters, but we gonna stand there with a fan of money and act like, yeah, this is how we do it over here. And, fool, that's your tax return. That's bill money. See? We be high capping too. False claiming, creating false personas, false images. Now you've created expectations in that person. They really want to meet you. Now you got to try to keep faking it to try to live up to that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. If who you really are is not good enough for a person, then that person not good enough for you. Just that simple. Ain't nothing to be mad at them about. Oh, I thought you had, on your picture, see, I looked at your picture, see, I ain't know you had that little stomach right up. Man, okay, well, bye. If I ain't good enough, if that's your mentality, you not for me no way. Because flawed individuals always pointing out other people's flaws. See? I watch too much TV. High Five Authentic, I see you. Peace and love, man. DJ Memphis Mix, Wolf Tickets. We don't have to build ourselves up to impress nobody, man. Nothing is gonna exemplify your nothing is gonna exemplify your real self and be more of an attracting magnet than your actual, real, natural energy. That's why so many artificial fake people, and that's why real people stand out. This is just how it is. You say, man, something different about her. Now, there ain't nothing different about her. She just real. She just being real. She not acting like the rest of them. He ain't acting like the rest of them. So everybody, that's why back in the days, like, you know how back in the days you say, like, you got a bunch of dudes being thirsty over one female, right? And they always just on her head, on her head, on her head. Then you got that one dude who never seems to show any interest in her. That's the dude she'll be wondering about. She want to see what's up with him. He don't act like the rest of them. Sparks her curiosity. Because when things are too easy, people lose interest in things that are too easy. If I brought you a puzzle, I say, man, I brought you a puzzle, man. And then you open the puzzle and it's 4 pieces to connect. You're like, this ain't even not even a challenge. But if the puzzle got 1,000 pieces, little bitty microscopic piece, you might be working on that thing a month. But it's a challenge. See? Nobody can be a better version of you than you. Nobody can beat you being you. And you can't beat nobody else being them. Stop looking at social media and stop looking at TV and trying to duplicate those images. Because a lot of those images that we try to duplicate, that's not even them. They acting like somebody else. Who's acting like somebody else? Who's acting like somebody else? It's going down the line. You get with a person because they beautiful or because he's a nice looking guy. And okay, that's fine. That can't be your sole only reason. What happens when he get fat? What happens when y'all start to get a little older? Got some gray hairs, like your boy. I got a little gravy slipping in on your boy. Well, I ain't gonna say a little, a lot. What happens if they get into an accident? And now they're not able to move and do the things that and you said for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. What if they get sick? And say, doctors say, well, he's gonna be laid up for about 4 or 5 months. You have to take care of him. What if he goes to jail? See, you got to really know what you're getting into. Not just him. What if she go to jail? What if she gets sick? Oh, hey, I ain't signed up for this. Oh man, your boy ain't signed up for this. Man, how long is she gonna be sick, man? Hey man. See, that's when you don't care about the person. You was in it for something else. So what caught you versus what keeps you? Let me see what y'all talking about, man. Drop y'all locations while we at it. You know how we do. Y'all drop y'all locations. You go back and read some of this stuff y'all talking about. Cause I'll be missing out on some of this game. Y'all be dropping as well, man. Y'all remember them old school phone conversations, boy. Yeah. Just be real 1,000%. If they can't see and know you're 1,000% real, walk away. It's not meant to be. Yeah. Plain and simple. Don't go after somebody based on what they have that you think can benefit you. And don't try to pull people based on what you have just to try to get them so you can benefit off of them. It goes two ways. What's the better connection? Always that mental connection. And if you really get it popping, it's a spiritual connection. Speaking of connection, speaking of connection, my connection be going in and out tonight for some reason. We bing binging tonight. We bing binging tonight all over the globe. Antigua, West Indies. That's a new one. New Hampshire, 713. Downtown H-Town. 423. Where's 423 at? Michigan, Mo City, Baton Rouge. Man. Hope we enlightened each other tonight, man. I appreciate y'all. Peace.